Oh wow, we are now Zom's teddy bear. Thanks, Zom. Let's get the poison out right away, deal with the summoner and the giant. Oof. You hurt more than I thought, giant friend. We are unable to read scrolls, but that should be okay. How much damage do you kiddos do again? 35? Yeah, we should be fine. Let's just poison you up a wee bit. You can get a stab in or two. Perfect. And we pick up a ring of wizardry. Thanks, Zom. I actually didn't notice that Zom was touching our surroundings there, so when I saw the door open, I immediately started feeling the adrenaline start to pump. But I don't think we need a ring of wizardry. Might as well take a look through the spellbook to see if there's anything that could change that. I guess... Oh, we picked up Iron Shot at some point. Oh, I need to learn that. Okay, what would I give up? Not Oglebs. I could give up Petrify, even though we still have been using it occasionally. We're starting to get to the point of the game where a lot of creators will have slightly too much willpower for us to do anything with that. Because Iron Shot is just a nice chunk of change. I guess we could get rid of Stone Arrow. We don't use it that often. Get rid of Stone Arrow and Sandblast even. Pick up some 4 memorization points. A negative scroll really hurts. Effectively, it's negative telly. Definitely. Especially normally, I am so reliant on blinking scrolls as my panic button of choice. Fortunately, in some strange sense of the word, we have no blinking scrolls here. We have some teleportation, which isn't bad for sure, and can be used and has been used in the past to get us out of troublesome situations. But all things considered, it's definitely better than it otherwise might be, just because we don't have that many options in that regard. So if you're gonna have a non-ideal situation, it might as well be wholly non-ideal. And your damage reflection, hey? How much does this? Reflects damage taken for a short duration, hurting attackers whenever damage is taken. Okay, so let's just, not bother attacking you. Run away slowly but surely. Perfect. I think our poison still does damage, or at least doesn't hurt us back, but I could be wrong about that as well. And, oh gosh, we're making all the noise in the world and calling a lot of attention to us. Let's see. Boulder Beetle, please don't hit too hard. Perfect. And we should be just fine and dandy. And I guess the other note on the new blurry vision with the chance to be unable to read scrolls, that is an interesting point, that it's more dangerous than I was giving it credit for. I think I was just happy to not have the old blurry vision, that's kind of where my mind was focused on, was just that aspect of the whole thing. But at the end of the day, it is kind of brutal to completely have the inability to use them, especially since when you're not used to it, that can really bite you in the butt. It's like with the first couple times that you cast Ozokubu's Refrigeration and you screw yourself over completely because you immediately need to drink a potion afterwards. So we'll have to see how we're able to deal with the new change to that mutation for sure, as it shows up more and more throughout the runs here. Yet another artifact ring. This one is a Ring of Fire, an int +5. I'm not a fan of the elemental rings that give you the vulnerability to the opposite. It's not horrible. We do at least have 1 pip of cold resistance, but we already have so much fire resistance. We don't have any fire spells yet, even though we could learn Bolt of Magma to potentially change that. Int +5 is kind of nice for sure. So we'll have to see how things settle out. Yeah, the old blurry vision, they're still risky but doable. This just straight turns it off, but it's balanced by it not happening every time, but not sure how it shakes out, to be honest. Yeah, no, same here. We'll have to see. I'm sure it's a bit, individual, case-by-case basis, depending on playstyle even, but who knows? Excited to see how all the changes affect me. as we continue to play more and more games in the latest version here. But I think I will learn Iron Shot. Now we're very much running almost the full complement of spells that we would wish to have by this stage in the game. I mean, we kind of already had, I guess, in many ways, just because getting statue form alone is the most critical. It has an octopode here. Let's see how she goes. What you gonna do to me, Catoplebis? I'm already stoned. We also now have 2 rings of wizardry, I guess. So let's put all those down. Let's put this down. And in fact, now that I've made that joke once, I'm going to constantly think about my octopuses running around stoned instead of statue formed. And another Death Knight. I guess I should be using our poison potentially. Hydras are normally really dangerous when you first run into them, but as long as you have a decent enough AC score, no matter how often they're hitting, they just never quite deal enough damage to truly cause concern. And holy cow, I think like every single artifact I've found in this game so far has been like +6, +8. That's pretty awesome. I guess I don't technically know if that is some back-end change or if that is, yeah, more of an anecdotal experience-based one. Oh, thank you, Zom, for the confusion. Right as our statue form runs out. Love it. Let's try a couple turns at the very least. I don't think these buddies deal too much damage. 20 plus a greatsword, so that's going to be like under 30 or under 40 at the very least. It's not too bad. I'm willing to test out a couple of turns here, even though we're confused, and there we go, no problem. Thanks, Jeez, that hurt real bad, friend. Don't do that. How hard does your bolt hit? It's like 3d25, right? Which is halved to like 37? So 37 damage. Okay. Oh, it's because I'm not in statue form. That's why he hits so hard. Right. It's the whole mechanic of the entire freaking run. I forget it. We also could try out an Iron Shot. Perfect. Probably shouldn't at that stage when it used up the last little bit of our mana, but hey, it worked, so it's okay, right? Let's maybe be more mindful of that in the future at the very least, though. And we'll drop that Staff of Cold right away. We will also potentially read some of these enchant armor scrolls. I think I will be keeping this Hat of Willpower, at least for the foreseeable future, unless it gets replaced by an artifact of some kind. So that should be worth it. And let's keep her going. See what else we can find in this treasure trove of a floor. Not too bad. When it hits, it works so well. You struggle with it being a good spell, though, and how often it seemingly misses. Yeah, and especially with, depending on how much or how many magic points your character is able to fly with, the fact that we can only cast it 5 times is pretty brutal, because if you're sitting at like a even a 60% chance to hit, which is okay for the most part, especially against a lot of the more evasion heavy creatures, that can immediately, yeah, turn a fight into a very scary situation for sure. Ooh, okay, feel clever, suffused with distortional energy. Oh, and we have Evolve. I didn't notice when we got that. That's one of my favorite mutations to get. So fun. Okay, let's hope we keep this one around for as long as possible, because it will just continually rack up all of the positive mutations we have at least a lower level. Dang, yeah. Please don't take that away, Zom. That's so fun each time I've gotten it. But I pause here because we did finally also get a Ring of Willpower. Would you look at that? Everything is coming up roses. So let's put this bad boy on, maybe finally taking off our Ring of Dexterity that wasn't quite necessary. And let us just drop that. Save us some inventory space. It's also been a little bit since we checked out our skills, which, wow, pretty appropriate timing. This was about to hit its cap here. We would have had to turn something on anywho. But, what do we wish to do? Could bring evocations up a bit more, keep supplementing our spells with that. It's nice to have a non-magic point use. That's not the right word. A non-magic point solution to problems, since especially when I'm playing, I manage to find myself running low on mana all the time. But for the time being, we can also start training polearms again, bring it up to min delay eventually here. And yeah, let's do it. Evocations coming up to 12. That way we'll start to see some better clouds from our condenser vein. Also maybe be able to use our remaining wands with a little more functionality here. See how she goes. I do really like this floor for our character though. It's definitely been a huge improvement, and oh my gosh, another ring. That's what I was about to mention, game. That's what I was just saying to myself. RN and AC +4. Holy crap. Well, let us immediately put that on. Jeez Louise. That can replace our current positive energy ring since it does the same thing, but better. You've heard it said that you should treat low MP exactly the same as low HP. Can't seem to find the patience though. No, exactly. And I'm hoping I'll be a little bit better now, if just because one of the changes that I made to my RC file, based on suggestions from Enon, was to cause my magic bar to change colors as it decreases, but I also get the low magic points warning at 50%, which I'm hoping will keep me a little more aware at the very least of when I'm finding myself in those troublesome situations. But I'm definitely almost always better off playing on a hybrid character, if just because I will constantly throw out all of my magic points far too quickly. I also changed my auto fight stop point to be slightly higher. I know some people like to go as high as like 70%. I just did a 50% change, but should still do some work. Man, you're a pain in the butt. You're fast, aren't you? Yeah, because you fly, I think you move slightly faster. And have every type of bolt in the game. Interesting, so could get taken out by this bad boy if we're not careful here. Let's maybe take a look at some of our options, shall we? We have no blinking scrolls. We could see, I guess, like, Iron Shot is a 57% chance to hit. That's not great. The poison will take this buddy out eventually. Oops, not Quiver. Quaff was what I was looking for. We have 1 potion of heal wounds. Of course, I shouldn't have gone myself into this situation. Out of statue form, low health. It's a bad mix for sure. Especially your halberd is 27 damage plus its halberd. Interesting. Can creatures still use auxiliary effects, when they attack from a distance? I wouldn't think that a Tengu could claw and peck from that distance, but I'm worried that I could be wrong. Interesting. And yeah, Bolt of Corrosive, I think penetrates, so it's not like I can just move downwards. In fact, all the bolts penetrate now that I think about it. So, I think I will take my potion of healing here. Was hoping that our poison would be dealing slightly more damage. Oh gosh, we put ourselves into this horrible situation. Chances of paralyzing you, 34%, not great. What else have we got at our disposal here? Ice Blast is a guaranteed hit, I guess. Oh right, we cannot read scrolls. Would you look at that? We're running into that problem already here. Interesting. Well, this is not the way I wanted to lose this character for sure, so I'm hoping for some fortuitous rolls here. because it would be an extremely anticlimactic way after all of the crap that Zom has thrown at us to get pushed over like this. So I'm going through all the options here. Ice Blast is at least a guaranteed hit. What kind of health total are we looking at, actually? 85, still decently high, though. Maybe we will open our inventory. Curious if we're better off running away and taking the chance at getting hit by a spell. Because we have a chance to dodge the spell, and then we also have a chance of getting a good roll on the damage of the spell. But, oh wait, no, we can't read scrolls. Yeah, Ice Blast is a great option for evasive creatures like Tengu or Spriggan, definitely. Yeah, that or IMB. That's an interesting point that I just thought of here. I'm going to check, because now that the game, in this latest update, they've done a really great job of making everything more obvious. They show a lot of the numbers, which I really like. Makes everything a lot easier for me, because I don't like to constantly be switching over to the wiki to look up every single thing. So we have 3d13 with a Wand of Ice Blast versus IMB, which is sitting at 2d12, sorry. So let's definitely go for the Wand of Ice Blast, shall we? Yes, definitely hit my Crimson Imp. Don't die. Oh, baby. And one more time now. Perfect. Oh, thanks, Zom. Thanks, Zom, for sure. That's not, again, how we wanted to go out. Against a fight that should have been no problem whatsoever, and I was just being rash. Far too rash. No, thanks, TBD, and yeah, thanks, AWOD, I'll definitely do that. Earned it, thanks, definitely. And a stretch as well, sounds good to me. After a tense situation, you want to make sure to release all that tension. Especially, I talk about it all the time when we're playing DCSS, because I do find myself really focused for long periods of time. But just in my life in general, I have really bad habits in terms of tensing my muscles in a bad way. I once, when I was younger, I went to physio a lot for my shoulder, because for whatever reason, that's where it was just constantly hitting me. I used to take I used to take a couple music lessons, piano and violin, and whenever I played either of those for over an hour, for whatever reason, I was tensing that shoulder super hard the entire time. I stress out. Not too often, actually. Weirdly enough, it's more of a physical manifestation for me. In general, my mental state, well, sometimes struck with anxiety of different kinds. In general, I find myself to be a fairly relaxed, chill person. But for whatever reason, not the same case in terms of the physical manifestations of stress or something. Some kind of minute difference in how it all works physiologically. But also haven't been feeling that quite as bad. I would have expected to retain, if I had retained that problem, to be constantly running into that issue just based on how much time I spend at a computer, because I do think it was less based on the situation and me playing piano for an hour, and it was more just an involuntary response to sitting in general that I've fortunately gone over, because the amount of time I spend sitting at a computer should proc the same thing by any stretch of the imagination, I would think. Even though that note alone is kind of funny, because I can spend an eternity at my computer, and it makes my partner very jealous, because she starts to run into so many issues the second she sits at her computer for longer than 3 hours, something like that. Usually after 1 hour or so, she'll start feeling the effects, and yet I'll be on this son of a gun for 8 hours, especially when I was in school and streaming. when I'd go from doing all of my homework on the computer, especially if I was doing like programming, and then switch over to either streaming or playing a video game in my spare time. I have no idea why my body is just absolutely okay with spending an unreasonable amount of time in front of a computer screen. Somehow haven't completely destroyed my eyesight, and I also haven't managed to give myself like back or leg problems. I don't know, maybe I'm just keeping them up with positive thought, and one of these days it's all going to catch up to me in a huge swell of just crappiness. But ideally not. We'll have to see, of course. And another ring of willpower means that I do want to switch off something. I might drop my ring of evasion and switch that out. Evasion can be really nice, but 4 evasion isn't the be-all end-all. And at the end of the day, I would very much like to never get banished or paralyzed or any of that crap if it can be helped. So there we go. Finally finished through D15 and definitely managed in the effort to do so to pick up enough willpower to head back to Swamp and take care of that dang old Louise once and for all. So let's head back to the entrance at least. Off we go. Right, I also need to get rid of that annotation. Which branch? D11. Get rid of that. Perfect. I was actually kind of surprised that worked. I've never had to get rid of those annotations before, but fortunately it does seem at least a wee bit intuitive for somebody who's played the game as much as I have. There we go. Come at me, Louise. I'm ready for you now. Of course, we'll have to be cautious not to pull ourselves into stupid situations with our stupid situation with our newfound self-confidence here. Still could be taken out very easily at any point. Where's she at? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Ah, there'd you go. Hello, Louise. Let's take a peek. 0% chance at banishment. Yes. And just 100 health? Oh, too bad. I kept around Petrify, wondering if we would end up using it in this fight. 37% chance isn't great. It's honestly not horrible. I'm going to try it once at the very least. Oh. Okay. Okay, it didn't work. Good to know. Do you have any resistances, Louise? Protection? Okay, no. So let's definitely rack up that poison, especially when your enemies have blink and they're just going to be hopping around all over the place. It can be nice to have some ambient damage being placed on them while they do so. And that should be that. Ooh. Statue Form is a level 6 spell? Where is it? It's level 6. Okay, so we need... Okay, just one more mana point is what I was going to say, and then we absolutely slaughtered Louise. Okay, I'll take it. Goliath Frogs, as soon as we start getting corroded too much, we'll want to switch over to our Resist Corrosion Ring, of course. Maybe should have switched in advance, because after a certain point, you kind of get screwed over by the fact that you can no longer hit whatsoever. But turns out we're fine. We're fine. Just gotta believe hard enough. It's the other side of that coin. If you believe hard enough, and then everything we know to be true can be completely turned on its head. I feel like I make that joke a lot. I especially make it a lot because I not only say it on stream, but I also say it all the time to my partner, that believing in things manifests them. Specifically, the place that started off was the existence of bed bugs, because my family has traveled a lot throughout my lifetime, and it was never something that we really, not necessarily we didn't think about, but it's not something that we were constantly conscious of, and always like checking every hotel room that we stayed at, every motel that we stayed at on road trips. We never really worried about it, and we've never had them in our entire lives. And my partner's family, on the other hand, is always worried and thinking about the possibility. and they've managed to run into them a couple times in different areas that they've stayed. And so I always say that bedbugs only exist if you believe in them. And definitely not true. Let's be real here, just to make sure. I have to be more careful in a public forum like this that I'm not giving weird ideas to people. But the entire joke, I think, might even stem from my love of a certain character set in, I believe it's Brent Week's Night Angel trilogy. I always kind of mix up some of the fantasy series that I read when I was younger. But there's an entire group of people in that book series called the Lay Not. And they're a series of knights that hate magic. And the way that they are able to resist magic is they don't believe in the magic so strongly that it is its own type of magical effect that actually cancels out the wizards around them and stuff like that, which I found to be such a fun idea. That they believe so hard that magic doesn't exist that they've created and manifested magic to dispel magic. So, it became part of my life. Okay, we managed to take out all the swamp worms, all the annoying harpoons are gone. This ended up being a brutal entrance into Swamp 2, where every single stairway was, for whatever reason, completely in range of this huge crowd of monsters, many of which are unfortunately resistant to poison. But as long as we are constant, consistent in our approach, do our due diligence, it's looking like we'll be okay. Dang it, I thought I got rid of all you swamp worms. That's no fun. So Spriggan Air Mage is a bit of a pain in the butt, but this guy is the main issue. Jeez Louise. Well, let's try this stairway again. Again, just keep hopping back and forth, taking our time. Just moving on by. And there we go. Let's take you three upstairs, please and thank you. Get that poison going. Perfect. Oh, jeez. Maybe I will have to add a force more message whenever our statue form expires, just so I don't accidentally tab myself into death. With most characters, you have a little bit of leeway, so you can, like, yeah, if you hit 50% health, then you still have some time to react and do stuff. But when you're as squishy as an octopode that's out of their statue form, oof, things get a little bit trickier in a lot of regards. Slowly but surely, we're breaching our entrance here. Oh no, don't. Oh, I thought that was a swamp worm harpooning me, but it was just a lightning bolt. It's always weird when you'd rather get hit in the face by a bolt of lightning than get pulled in a direction, but positional advantages are everything in this game. Let's see, there's something I wanted to do before we headed back down. Ooh, right, switch our shield. We are finally at a high enough level to switch over to our kite shield here. We do lose 1 pip of fire resistance, but I think that's fine. I'd much rather have the overall general defenses up than any specific resistance, at least in a more general encounter. Oh geez, hello. Nikolai was here the whole time, hey? Fun. Have you changed at all, friend? Some changes to lightning magic, I'm concerned at the very least. Doesn't look like it. I think we still have resistance to electricity. At the very least, I think statue form gives us that. Do have 2 swamp worms. So you know what? No, I'm out of here. Goodbye, mon frères. You don't want to get hit with chain lightning anymore, that's for sure. Right, chain lightning did get changed. Okay, that's good to know. What are the qualifications for chain lightning? This is a massive electrical discharge that arcs to the creature nearest to the caster than outward from it. The further it travels, the less damage it does. Okay, so we want distance. which is not great with where we are now, especially since if they step forward onto this trap, I'm going to be upset. So, dang it, they stepped forward onto the trap before I managed to make it up the stairs. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Start the poison. We can at least take out these swamp worms that have been such a thorn in our side for so long. And we'll IMB just to get Nikolai the heck off of us. Maybe even dip into our evocables here just for some extra security. Bring out the condenser vein. Jesus, okay, that's a bolt of lightning that hit us. That wasn't even the chain lightning. Holy cow. That hurts indeed. This is going to be rough. Already have our negative scroll. Not that we had a whole lot to work with there. I guess fear scroll might have been nice, but besides that, was never an option. Let's see, do I have any chance paralyzing you? 3%. No, that's a heavy no. Jeez Louise. Why are you so scary, Nikolai? Oh, I see, actually. I didn't even look at the numbers. Again, the game is becoming much more transparent. It's trying to help with that. 3D 45. Oh boy. That's not fun. And we definitely can't kill him in one turn. Is it weird that I'm almost thinking a 1 or 3% chance to paralyze might actually be our best option here? Hate to say it, but see, we could knock back, step to the stairs, run. If we're lucky, that works. Or I could step to the stairs, then knock away. Trying to think of what's the better option here. If we step onto the stairway, we are stepping into our cloud of fire because I regret all my decisions. But does get us there one trip sooner. And if Nikolai decides to cast something and ideally misses, even though I don't know if that chain lightning can miss, which is brutal. But it does get us there one turn sooner versus wasting a turn with IMB and potentially taking 3 spell hits. The flip side of that is, yeah, stepping onto the fire cloud will deal some damage to us ambiently. So then if we also get hit by something, even if it's a low roll, might be horrible. But let's do it. IMB. Okay, don't kill me. Run. Oh me oh my. Okay. Oh boy. Nikolai. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. Do I even want to fight you? Okay, definitely not from this stairway. I should go to the other one if we do. If we see him from far away, I can phantom mirror him right off the bat this next time. That would be good. Could also use, let's see, let's maybe look through our inventory and come up with a plan beforehand. We could use haste sooner, box of beasts as well. Just try and ramp up as much as we can. Well, we still have scroll reading abilities. Is there anything we want to do? Silence? How long does silence last? I don't use scrolls of silence nearly long enough. Interesting. Innate magical special abilities can still be used. That should be fine. Starts out with a large radius, then shrinks. Okay. So we almost want to be close enough in the fight to use that. Especially since if we wait too long, we get hit by something and we're no longer able to read scrolls. Ooh, this gets complicated, doesn't it? Maybe I do want to go down this stair. Nah, let's head down here. Statue form up. Draw some attention to us. You're exactly diagonal, right? I guess the easiest way to check that is if I... No, never mind. If I VS... Yeah. That didn't end up working the way I thought it should. If I had a piercing thing, we could quickly check to make sure that this line is diagonal. I just wanted to do that because so often in this game, I think that I'm on that perfect trajectory lineup, and I end up being completely wrong about it and feeling like a fool. So ideally, don't put ourselves in that situation. And ideally, I can also bring you two with me upstairs before we fight Nicola. Hey friends, specifically the bunyip, come with me. Oh, right, bunyips are too big to take stairs, is that it? Kind of forget about that sometimes. So let's just take these buddies out, staying nice and slow. There he is, you son of a gun. I'm out. Okay, fun stuff. And so it continues. We just keep ping-ponging back and forth through these stairs. Zot clock shouldn't be a concern. No, still over 10,000 turns. That's good. Oh, should be in statue form, though, as well. Where are you at, Nicola? Okay. Swamp worms are now the most dangerous creature in the game, because if we get stuck out of position against Nikolai, we are dead. But here goes nothing. Wait, I don't have a phantom mirror? Thought there was a phantom mirror on the floor a while back. Did I just not pick it up? Am I an idiot? No, I just didn't pick it up. So yes, I guess I am an idiot. Let's go get that, shall we? Oh, glad we didn't commit too hard into that fight before realizing that mistake. Curious how many turns that took, though. 236 turns. Fun stuff. Oh, because I turned off my auto pickup thinking that I already had it. Oh, I'm a fool. Well, there we go, and then head back to Swamp 1. Taking another 238 turns. Fortunately, again, we still have just under 10,000 now. Not too bad.